Pittsburgh Trivia is a production of Warrior House Media.
Welcome to Pittsburgh Trivia with your host, Jim Cannon, where uncovering the crazy truth and trivia about Pittsburgh is just the beginning. And who knows, you may even learn a few things in the process. We know life can get pretty interesting around Pittsburgh. Speaking of interesting, did you know that?
Hi, and welcome to Pittsburgh Trivia, an interactive show that will test your knowledge of all things Pittsburgh and the surrounding region. I'm your host, Jim Cannon. Thanks for joining me. Before we get started, please note our website, pittsburghtriviapodcast.com, where you can go to find the latest episode. And you can also subscribe to be notified when those episodes are posted. The show is absolutely free. So here's how Pittsburgh Trivia works. There are 3 rounds. The first round consists of 5 random questions, most of them pretty easy. The second round is another 5 questions, though slightly more challenging material. And the final round is just one much tougher bonus question. That's a grand total of 11 questions in all. For each round, I will read the question and give a 5-second pause before going on to the next one. At the end of each round, I'll repeat each question before revealing the answers, along with some supplemental information. See, you can have fun and learn some things too. So those are the rules. If you're ready, let's get started. Round 1, question 1. The Harris Theater on Liberty Avenue is known as a cultural arts space and independent film showcase. But prior to 1995, the theater offered what? Question 2. It's a multiple choice question. The highest temperature ever recorded in Pittsburgh happened on July 16th, 1988. Was it 100 degrees, 103, or 107? Question 3. Born in Pittsburgh in 1902, David O. Selznick became a highly successful movie mogul in Hollywood. He's probably best known for producing this 1939 film set in the American South during the Civil War. Question 4. January 19th, 1994 stands as the coldest recorded day in Pittsburgh history. This is also a multiple choice question. What was the temperature that day? Was it minus 15, minus 18, or minus 22 degrees? And question 5. We all know and love Primanti Brothers. As of this recording, they have over 40 locations, including Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Maryland, and Florida. But where is the original Primanti Brothers shop located? That wasn't too bad, right? Hope those were relatively easy for you, or that you at least had some great guesses. Well, let's check the answers to see how you did with round 1. Round 1 answers. The Harris Theater on Liberty Avenue is known as a cultural arts space and independent film showcase, but prior to 1995, the theater offered what? All right, earmuffs for the kids. Adult films. Formerly known as the Art Cinema, the Harris Theater represents a milestone in the redevelopment of Liberty Avenue. The Art Cinema was the first moving picture house in Pittsburgh to commercially show art movies until competition from other city theaters led to its conversion to an adult movie house in the 60s. And as part of the mission to transform the cultural district, the Cultural Trust purchased and restored the facility, leading to further conversions of rundown properties along the Liberty Avenue corridor. With a total of 194 seats, including a fully restored balcony, the Harris Theater officially opened to the public for movies and live performances on November 9th, 1995. Question 2, it was a multiple choice question. The highest temperature ever recorded in Pittsburgh happened July 16th, 1988. Was it 100, 103, or 107 degrees? The answer is 103 degrees Fahrenheit. Now keep in mind that this is based on temperature recordings in Pittsburgh only since 1926, so it's entirely possible there were prior hotter days, which is really scary. And question 3, born in Pittsburgh in 1902, David O. Selznick became a highly successful movie mogul in Hollywood. He's probably best known for producing this 1939 film set in the American South during the Civil War. And the answer is Gone with the Wind. Little side note, the O in his name, David O. Selznick, was something he arbitrarily added as an adult. He had an uncle named David, and he added the random, meaningless middle initial just to set the two apart. In question 4, this was also a multiple choice question. January 19th, 1994 stands as the coldest recorded day in Pittsburgh history. What was the temperature? Was it minus 15, minus 18, or minus 22? And the answer is it was minus 22 degrees that day. That was the low, and the actual high was minus 3. In question 5, we all know and love Primanti Brothers and their wonderful sandwiches. As of this recording, they have over 40 locations, including Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Maryland, and Florida. But where is the original Primanti Brothers shop located? The answer is 18th and Smallman Street in the Strip District. Come on, that had to be easy for any of you Pittsburgh natives. All right, how many of you got 5 out of 5 in that round? Well, fear not, we have more questions coming up. Now, before we get to them, just a quick message. Please do us a favor, head to the website, pittsburghtriviapodcast.com, and hit the subscribe button. You'll start being automatically notified when a new episode is posted. And feel free to tell your friends and family about the show. And you can also check us out on social media. The links to our accounts are available on the website, pittsburghtriviapodcast.com. Thank you for your interest, and thank you for listening. All right, get ready for round 2. Here we go. Question 1. The Pirates beat the Phillies at Forbes Field August 5th, 1921. It was the first baseball game to be what? And question 2. In this 1993 action suspense movie filmed in Pittsburgh, Bruce Willis plays Detective Thomas Hardy, who, after ratting out his partner for abusive behavior toward a suspect, gets demoted to the river rescue team. When his father is killed, Hardy becomes embroiled in a murder mystery. Pittsburgh's rivers play a prominent role in the film. Name the movie. Question 3, kind of a geography question here. This bridge crosses the Mon and lands travelers right in front of the Armstrong Tunnel. In question 4, born in Carnegie but growing up in Aliquippa, he's a member of both the college and pro football halls of fame. This legendary player turned pro coach played 3 sports while at the University of Pittsburgh: football, baseball, and basketball. In 1988, he was the first tight end inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. In 1997, his college football jersey number 89 was retired by Pitt. And from 1991 to 1992, there was a recurring sketch on Saturday Night Live that featured a group of fans dressed like him, and it featured Mike Myers, Chris Farley, and George Wendt, who was Norm from Cheers. Who is this football legend? Question 5. This river-themed festival downtown started in 1978 and was held for the last time in 2018, though it was recently announced it will return in 2024. Part of their marketing campaign included the phrase, "You gotta," and the festival featured Formula One powerboat races. What was the festival called? Those were a bit tougher than the first round. I'll bet some of you cruised right through and others, well... But the beauty of this show is that you can learn as you go. So let's see how you did in that round and check the answers. Question 1. The Pirates beat the Phillies at Forbes Field, August 5th, 1921. It was the first baseball game to be what? The answer is it was the first baseball game broadcast on radio. Question 2. In this 1993 movie filmed in Pittsburgh, Bruce Willis plays police detective Thomas Hardy, who, after ratting out his partner, gets demoted to the river rescue team. When his father is killed, Hardy becomes embroiled in a murder mystery, and Pittsburgh's rivers play a prominent role in the film. What movie was it? Striking Distance. Yeah, I remember when this came out, it had an amazing all-star cast, including a very young Sarah Jessica Parker, Tom Sizemore, one of my favorite actors, Dennis Farina, and John Mahoney, who later portrayed Fraser Crane's dad on Frasier. It was just fun to watch it and know where all the scenes were filmed. But I recall around that time there was some massive Yinzer outcry due to the chase scene sort of in the beginning of the movie. It was exciting to watch, but if you were from Pittsburgh, the editing of the cars racing through the different streets made no sense. They were nowhere close to being in sequence. But I guess that's kind of the magic of Hollywood. And question 3. This bridge crosses the Mon and lands travelers right in front of the Armstrong Tunnel. That is the South 10th Street Bridge. I used to hop over to that bridge as a shortcut to get to Penn's games. It was so much easier than fighting traffic on the Liberty Bridge. And question 4, this is a long one. Born in Carnegie but growing up in Aliquippa, he is a member of both the College and Pro Football Halls of Fame. This legendary player turned pro coach played 3 sports while at Pitt: football, baseball, and basketball. In 1988, he was the first tight end inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. In 1997, his college football jersey number 89 was retired by Pitt. And from 1991 to 1992, there was a recurring sketch on Saturday Night Live that featured a group of fans dressed like him and featured Mike Myers, Chris Farley, and George Wendt. Who is he? That's Mike Ditka. And you might remember the sketch on SNL called Bill Swersky's Superfans. There were a bunch of Chicago Bears fans who all dressed like Ditka, and they would talk in sort of that Chicago accent. Remember when they say, "Da Bears"? Well, Ditka actually played 6 seasons for the Bears back in the 60s and later coached them from 1982 to 1992. Question 5, this river-themed festival started in 1978 and was held for the last time in 2018, though it was announced recently it'll be back in 2024. Part of their marketing campaign included the phrase, "You gotta." And the festival featured Formula One powerboat races. What was the festival? That should be an easy one. It's the Three Rivers Regatta. Do you remember the ad campaigns they used to run? You got a regatta. I always liked this festival because the timing was great, usually over the July 4th weekend, and typically there was a Pirates game. The riverbanks and Point State Park were packed, but you could walk back into the city and enjoy some of the energy of the event without all the crowds. Plus, it makes use of the rivers, and I think gives people a greater appreciation for our unique city. So it's pretty exciting that it'll be back this year. All right, I know some of those took a little bit of brain power. And speaking of brain power, if you have any thoughts about the show, please head to the website, pittsburghtriviapodcast.com, find the contact button, and drop us a line. We want to hear from you. Okay, just one more hill to climb. Here we go with the bonus question. When originally founded in 1878 and 1787, respectively, these 2 universities were named Pittsburgh Catholic College of the Holy Ghost and the Pittsburgh Academy. These days, we know them by what names? All right. right, you had a few options with this one given the number of schools in and around Pittsburgh, but sometimes the first thing that pops into your head is the correct one. They are Duquesne University and the University of Pittsburgh. And that's it for this episode. I hope it ended on a high note for you. Please think about sharing a link of the show with your friends and family. Invite them to listen. You can all play along. Also, please keep checking back either on Spotify or on the website for the latest episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
What? You're never gonna believe this. We'll leave that nugget for next time. So if you want more wacky Pittsburgh trivia, be sure to subscribe and we'll invite you back to our next episode. But if you just can't wait, visit our website at pittsburghtriviapodcast.com, where we think Pittsburgh trivia isn't trivial.